Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan, and before I even tell you what we're doing in this video, I'm back here in the table. It is so great to be back, finally on the set. It's been months, so it's just great that I'm finally able to be back here, and yes, the masks are off. This frog was a nice replacement for me, but it can go bye-bye. And now that I'm back, I'm going to tell you what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. He had an interesting year last year to help the 49ers get to the Super Bowl, so we're going to talk about what we think is in store for him in 2020 and beyond.
Yep. So I guess I'll start by giving some stats. So first off, let's go to 2018 where he was traded to the 49ers. So that year he did start right away, but he only played 3 games because he went down with an injury that kept him out for the rest of the year. So that season, we don't need to talk about his stats for that season. He just went down with the injury. That's something important to mention with his career. But last year, 2019, Ryan talked about it. They did go to the Super Bowl. Whether you think it's led by Jimmy Garoppolo being a great quarterback or not, you'll have our opinions throughout this video. But I'll give you his stats to start off right away. First off, he played 16 games in the regular season. That's all of the games. He started all of them. And then let's see. He got 3,978 yards. And I don't know why touchdowns are not on here. But I'm not.
He had 27 touchdowns last year.
Thank you for the help.
13 interceptions.
13 interceptions. I don't know why I didn't have it on here.
We all work together as a table.
Yeah.
We're all finally back here at the table.
The unit is back.
Yeah, absolute unit.
That's right.
We should T-pose.
All right. Maybe we'll T-pose at the end.
Yeah.
But really the question we want to answer here with this whole video that we're making is, can Jimmy Garoppolo actually lead a team to the Super Bowl? We know he can get there, but that was a lot of the defense. We can maybe make a deep dive for the 49ers later on. But with the skill set that Jimmy G has, it's not bad at all. We definitely have to talk about the injuries that have been there in the past. He got injured. Was that week 1?
I think it was week 3.
Week 3.
I think they were playing Kansas City. There was a little Super Bowl.
I remember they played against the Vikings week 1 that year, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think he played that full game.
It was because he started 3 games.
Yeah, but he got paid not too long ago because he did a great job with the 49ers, and with that first year, the year he got traded, he actually kind of did lead them to a lot of wins. But after that, it hasn't really been too impressive. We can continue to talk about that, so I'll hand that over to you guys.
Yeah.
Well, what I just want to say, I'm going to talk about this team kind of, but barely. It'll just be kind of the thing that sticks out like a sore thumb on this team. And that's the fact that their running game was so good last year. The running game dominated their whole team. They ran it so much. They ran it so efficiently. And Jimmy Garoppolo, a lot of time, was just there for the ride. There's a few games where he might have had some good passing stats. But a lot of times, at least in my opinion, I think he was just there for the ride. The running game is really what carried the 49ers to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and there are definitely a lot of instances where Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't throw the ball that much. He just gives it to that committee of running backs, lets them carry the load, and then lets the defense lock it down. But there were some games throughout last year where Jimmy Garoppolo really did take the team on his back. And one of the games that really stands out is one of the best games of the NFL season, that San Francisco-New Orleans game back in early December of last year. It was December 8th. 49ers won a thriller in the Superdome, 48-46. In that game, Jimmy Garoppolo was 26 for 35, 349 yards, 4 touchdowns, and just 1 pick. So you can't say there's never instances where he throws, because without a performance like that from him, they don't win that game. That was such a back-and-forth game. I still remember watching it, the crazy ending with the whole Kittle play. So there are definitely some instances where Garoppolo needed to make plays, but also the 49ers have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and I think that's a factor, and that's why they were able to get there, especially that defensive line, my guy Nick Bosa. So it's kind of a mix. I feel like there's some games where you say, okay, Jimmy didn't do that much, and I always joke about, like, oh my gosh, thank you, we didn't get a 49ers Titans Super Bowl, because there probably would have been a total of 5 pass attempts in that game. So, yeah, that would have been, you think Patriots Rams was low scoring. Oh my goodness. But, yeah, so we got Niners Chiefs, and that ended how it did, and the rest is history. So I'm really eager to see how the 49ers approach it in 2020 and beyond.
Yeah, especially with Jimmy Garoppolo. See how he approaches the season now. Coming off the Super Bowl hangover, the entire team really is, but as the quarterback especially. And the one thing that gets talked about when you talk about Jimmy Garoppolo in that Super Bowl was the overthrow. Who was that to? Was that to?
I think it was
Emmanuel
to Sanders. Yeah, who's now on the Saints.
I think it was, and they could have possibly gotten the win had he hit that throw. That's a tough throw to make. Probably one that you could say Patrick Mahomes or any of the other elite quarterbacks in the league would have probably made it in that situation, but he
Mahomes
didn't.
kind of did make that.
Yeah.
That's
It
true.
was kind of also a weird play with
Yes.
Tyreek Hill running randomly.
Yeah, he was just kind of like chilling there
Yeah.
for a little bit. Yeah,
But
that's a kind of
to me, Jimmy Garoppolo.
You know the thing. Come on.
Yes, you know the thing. He's probably the third best quarterback in the NFC West to me. They do have really good quarterbacks in that division. But that would just what I would have to say about that. And yeah, I just think he's a guy that can get a team to the Super Bowl. We know that, but I don't think he's a guy that can lead a team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. And I have an interesting stat here that I want to share. It's as far as run-pass ratios are concerned from 2019. 49ers ran the ball the second most of any team in the league. Only Baltimore ran it more. Baltimore ran it 57.5% of their plays. Baltimore ran. San Francisco ran the ball 51% of the time, past the other 49%. So still about even, almost 50-50. But still, that's the second highest run percent in the league. So yeah, they're, run per play is a little over 50%.
Yeah, and then so let's kind of get into now talking about our specific opinions on Jimmy Garoppolo since it's this kind of video. We said some stats. We've already said some stuff about the run game, about the defense. But let's talk specifically into Jimmy Garoppolo. And I'm going to start you on a more negative note. I'm sorry if you don't want to start a negative note. If you're a 49ers fan, I hope you're not upset that I'm going negative. I'm not completely busting Jimmy Garoppolo by any means, but I don't think he's going to be a great quarterback in his career. I think he will be a decent quarterback. I think he will be a starter for a good amount of time in the NFL, but I don't think that he's going to be able to lead teams to the Super Bowl. Now, I know with this defense, with the running game, but who, by the way, they did lose Matt Breida, so that could be something in the future. They'll step up for that.
They got enough running backs.
Yeah. I don't think
they got Jerick McKinnon coming back from injury.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. He's been hurt a lot.
Yeah. So it is possible, like we saw last year, to get to the Super Bowl with a mediocre quarterback. You talk about Joe Flacco getting to some Super Bowls. Is he elite? The answer is still not known. So I think that although with Jimmy Garoppolo, like I said, he'll be a decent quarterback throughout his career, I don't think he's going to be a stud. I think he misses some throws. I think he needs to learn a bit more, and he will. He's under Kyle Shanahan, a great head coach. A younger head coach too, but a great head coach.
More importantly, a great offensive mind, especially at the quarterback position.
But I just don't see it in Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't see the star potential. I see potential for a decent career, but not star, wow me potential that the 49ers were looking for when they got him.
Yeah, I think that you made a lot of good points, and I think he's solid. I think I'm a little higher on him than you are, but I don't think he could full on carry a team. I don't think he's ever going to be like a Patrick Mahomes or a Russell Wilson where he just goes off. It is, so I don't think he's ever quite going to get there. But they've got a solid coaching staff. He's still young. I think he's only 28 years old, so there's time for him to get better. It's not like he's in the back end of his career or anything. All signs point to him being healthy. So I really think that he'll be able to help them win games. And I think that the key that he has to realize is when you have that good of a defense, you don't need to go put up 30, 40 points every week because you know that defense is going to give you chances to win. So I think he's just got to play smart, take what the defense gives him. Of course, there's times you got to take your shots no matter what because you can't play too conservative. But at the end of the day, I think that he is a guy who is able to understand how his team wins games. Say what you want about, he doesn't really throw deep that much, and when he does, it's not good. But hey, if your team's winning games, hey, I don't care how you do. You're getting wins at the end of the day. Do it how you need to do it. Just, put it up in the W column, and I got no problems with it.
I'm with you, Ryan, especially on that. I'm kind of with both of you, to be quite honest. To me, in terms of where Jimmy Garoppolo is in comparison to other quarterbacks, he's always a guy that I feel like is going to be more middle of the pack in the NFL. And there might be years you say, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo was a top 10 quarterback this year, but not something that would be very often. I don't think he's a guy that is going to get the big contracts that are going on as it arrives next time after his first big contract is up. But a guy you can say, hey, we got Jimmy Garoppolo. We're going to be fine. We got a good defense, good weapons around him. That's all we need. Like Jordan said also, there's definitely mistakes in there. The timing on his throws can be off at times. The receivers do make up for that, though. Jordan mentioned the precision, the accuracy. And the longer throws are not always as consistent. But that's something that Kyle Shanahan, as time goes on, can really start to help Jimmy Garoppolo with. He did that in Atlanta when he was the offensive coordinator there. Really helped that offense shine, and I think he's going to continue to do that. And they continue to add weapons to his team as well.
Mm-hmm.
which is very exciting.
Although they did just trade Goodwin, which I didn't really like, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You got to do what you got to do.
Well, they should have gotten more.
He was their
That's another
speedster.
video.
He wasn't like the phenomenal wide receiver, but he was really the deep threat. Marquise Goodwin, who we're talking about, by the way. He went to the Eagles, who are making their team like Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
So to me, I wouldn't be surprised if we're 5 years from now and we say the 49ers have won a Super Bowl, but I wouldn't be thinking Jimmy Garoppolo would be the Super Bowl MVP or
Nick
the best
Bosa
player in the playoffs.
Damian Lillard should have been.
There's clutch moments
You're
for him, but once again, it's not this shining star where you go, oh my God, Jimmy Garoppolo, everyone's gonna want to be like him one day.
Yeah.
But it's good enough to say, hey, we got this guy, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Just make sure everything else is solid around him. And we can go far in the playoffs, and they proved that last year when a lot of people didn't think they were going to be able to.
Yeah.
And I think for the 49ers, they're in more of a win-now mode.
Yep.
Their defense is great. We've talked about it, but they already had to trade away a guy, DeForest Buckner, because they couldn't pay him enough. They're going to have to get these money to pay these guys. No, Nick Bosa.
They got
He's
Kinlaw.
a younger player. Kinlaw as well. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Brandon Ayuk.
Very true. They're getting these younger guys on the roster. Nick Bosa, he's under a 5-year deal.
Yeah.
I don't know what Kinlaw. Probably under a 5-year deal as well. Most rookies are drafted in the first round. I think all of them actually are the 5th-year option, which I'm sure they would pick up if they play where they are drafted. So they wanted to pay those guys. The guys like Richard Sherman, will they pay him as time comes? They got to keep this defense good, in my opinion. They're going to continue to compete in a tough division with the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals, who are a wild card team for this year. Who knows what's going to happen with them? It's a really interesting division when you look at it. And all, but they just need that success to go through on defense.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do like what the 49ers teams are doing, and I like what Jimmy Garoppolo is doing. I think I can speak for the table for that, but we just don't see any elite qualities in
He's not going to carry this team.
Do you guys think my statement about a top 10 quarterback in certain years, do you think that there's some level of truth to that?
I think top 15. I wouldn't say 10.
Yeah.
But then they got more.
Where would you put him right now? Just like a rough... Right.
I don't know, like 20.
He's got to be at least middle of the pack. I
Yeah.
think he might be a system quarterback or a game manager, but he's gotten the job done.
I think like 20 is a bit higher than middle of the pack.
Well, Chris Sims is doing his rankings right now,
Yeah.
and I think he's up to 23, and he still hasn't said Garoppolo yet.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
We're basing our stuff off of Chris Sims.
I'm just saying, comparing it to that. So it's something. It was definitely something before that. I was gonna say 20 as well, like Jordan said.
I go
Maybe not
higher.
top half of the league, but better than a lot of other quarterbacks in the league, and one quarterback in his division, Jared Goff, in my opinion.
Where does he rank in that division, do you think? Would you say-
Jared Goff?
No, I meant Jimmy Garoppolo.
I would say 3 for me.
I don't even know if I can answer that right
Because
now.
we're
I'm
going
kind of sorry I
Jared
asked.
Goff, Kyler Murray, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Russell Wilson.
Because if you're asking me right now or long term, that is a really tough question.
I'd say Wilson obviously at 1,
Yes.
for sure. I think Goff is in a decline. He might be at 4. And then Kyler and Garoppolo are kind of in a dance right now.
Yeah.
They're two very different quarterbacks.
I might put Kyler a bit over Garoppolo.
Yeah, if you could give me one of them for like long term, like you get to have one of these guys right now, I'd take Jimmy Garoppolo. But if you're saying you're trying to win this year, maybe Kyler. I don't know. That could be a whole video of its own someday.
Yeah.
Okay, so there it was, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Let us know what you think about Jimmy Garoppolo. Also, like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and like I said, comment down below. We love comments. We will respond to your comments.
Yes, we will.
So thank you guys again for watching this video. And with that, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.